The wedding dress hung over her trembling arm. Her eyes were red from hours of crying, and the words that escaped her lips stunned the successful film director standing only a few feet away. She whispered that she needed a husband by Monday, and when he looked around to make sure she was speaking to him, she quietly added that she had no one else to ask. In that single moment, two strangers carrying invisible scars found themselves standing at the edge of a decision that would change both of their lives forever. If you believe kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances can change lives, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel to become part of our family and our community. Vivian Clark had spent years building a respected career as an architect in Boston. She was admired for designing beautiful buildings, yet her own life had quietly fallen apart. After losing both parents within a short time, she discovered that her late father's final wish required her to be legally married before she could inherit the family estate. The inheritance was not about wealth alone. It included the historic community center her parents had spent decades protecting from developers who wanted to demolish it. Without ownership, the property would be sold within days. Every lawyer confirmed there was only one way to fulfill the legal condition before the deadline that arrived on Monday. Across town, renowned documentary director Callum Mercer had become famous for telling stories that inspired millions. Behind the awards and applause was a lonely man who had walked away from love years earlier after a painful betrayal destroyed his trust. Since then, he poured every ounce of emotion into his films, believing it was safer to tell stories than to live one himself. Their paths crossed on a bright Saturday afternoon at a charity arts festival held entirely outdoors. Vivian had volunteered to help organize the event while desperately searching for a solution to save her parents' dream. Callum had been invited as the guest speaker, though he almost cancelled at the last minute because he felt emotionally exhausted. When Vivian finally gathered enough courage, she approached him with tears she could no longer hide. She explained everything honestly. She did not ask for money or sympathy. She simply asked if he would consider entering a temporary legal marriage so the community center could survive. She promised there would be no expectations afterward and that he would be free to leave once everything was settled. Callum stared at her in disbelief. He had spent years filming extraordinary stories, yet this sounded like something no screenwriter would dare invent. Every instinct told him to walk away, but something about Vivian's sincerity reminded him of the people his documentaries celebrated, ordinary individuals willing to sacrifice everything for others. Instead of answering immediately, he asked to see the community center before making any decision. The following afternoon they visited the aging brick building where hundreds of children attended free art classes every weekend. Elderly residents gathered there for music programs. Local families relied on it as a safe place filled with laughter instead of loneliness. Volunteers greeted Vivian with genuine affection, proving that every word she had spoken was true. Callum noticed faded photographs hanging on the walls. Nearly every picture included Vivian's parents smiling beside children whose lives they had helped transform. One elderly volunteer quietly explained that if the building disappeared, many families would lose their only affordable community space. For the first time in years, Callum felt something stronger than caution. He remembered why he had started making documentaries in the first place, to preserve hope where others only saw obstacles. By Sunday afternoon they completed the legal paperwork. There was no grand wedding ceremony, only a simple civil signing surrounded by grateful volunteers who understood the sacrifice both strangers were making. The smiles around them were genuine, but neither of them imagined that the agreement would begin changing their hearts. During the following weeks, although they intended to separate after the legal matters ended, they continued working together to restore the community center. Every afternoon they painted classrooms, repaired old furniture, planted flowers, and organized fundraising events. The more time they spent together, the more they discovered the hidden burdens each carried. Vivian admitted she blamed herself for not spending enough time with her parents before they passed away. Success had consumed her schedule, and regret haunted every achievement afterward. Callum revealed that years earlier his former fiancée had abandoned him days before their wedding after secretly using him to advance her own career. Since then, he believed lasting love belonged only in the stories he directed. As weeks passed, their conversations became easier. They laughed over spilled paint, celebrated successful charity events, and comforted families facing difficult times. Without realizing it, the temporary arrangement slowly became the safest friendship either had experienced in years. Then another obstacle appeared. A powerful development corporation challenged the inheritance in court, claiming the marriage had been fraudulent. If they won, the community center would still be demolished. The hearing took place on a bright Monday morning. Reporters crowded outside while local families filled every available seat. Lawyers questioned every detail of their relationship, suggesting everything had been staged for financial gain. Just when it seemed impossible to defend themselves, dozens of community members stood up voluntarily. Teachers, elderly neighbors, single parents, and teenagers each shared stories of witnessing Callum and Vivian work side by side for months without seeking recognition. They described acts of kindness no cameras had recorded, repairing playground equipment, delivering supplies to struggling families, mentoring young artists, and spending countless afternoons serving others together. The judge listened carefully before delivering a decision that surprised everyone. He ruled that while the marriage had begun under unusual circumstances, their continued commitment to each other and the community demonstrated genuine intent rather than deception. The inheritance remained valid, and the community center would stay open. Cheers echoed outside as children hugged volunteers and neighbors celebrated together under the afternoon sun. Although the legal battle was over, Callum quietly admitted he feared returning to his empty apartment. For the first time, loneliness felt heavier because he finally understood what genuine companionship looked like. Vivian smiled through grateful tears. She confessed she no longer wanted their marriage to exist only on paper. Somewhere between restoring old walls and healing broken hearts, they had unknowingly built a real home together. Months later, the restored community center reopened with colorful murals, a new library, music rooms, and gardens filled with flowers planted by local families. Callum produced a documentary about ordinary people choosing kindness over comfort, but he never made himself the hero. Instead, he dedicated the film to every volunteer who believed hope deserved another chance. Vivian continued designing buildings, but her proudest achievement was protecting the place where countless futures would begin. Together they proved that the strongest foundations are never built with concrete alone. They are built with compassion, trust, forgiveness, and the courage to believe in people again after heartbreak. Before we reach the end, we'd love to hear from you. What do you think is stronger, love that begins with friendship, or friendship that slowly becomes love? Leave a meaningful comment below and share your thoughts with our community. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. As the afternoon sunlight poured through the restored windows of the community center, children filled the halls with laughter once again. Callum and Vivian looked around at the lives forever changed because neither of them walked away from a desperate stranger on an ordinary day. They discovered that the greatest love stories rarely begin with perfect timing. They begin with compassion, grow through sacrifice, and endure because two imperfect people choose each other every single day. And in saving a forgotten building, they unknowingly rescued the two hearts that had been waiting all along for a reason to believe in love again.